All right, today we are going to climb the American wealth ladder. Now, most of us have a hunch about where we stand financially, but you might be really surprised to find out where you actually land when you see the hard numbers.
So you probably think you're middle class, right?
You know, doing okay, keeping your head above water, holding your own.
But what happens when we push all those feelings aside and just look at the cold, hard data?
Well, the reality is often very, very different. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, and this is absolutely crucial. This is not about your paycheck. Having a high salary does not automatically make you wealthy. We need to look at the real scoreboard. And what we're talking about is net worth. The formula is actually super simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You take everything you own, your house, car, savings, investments, and you subtract everything you owe. That's your mortgage, any loans, your credit card debt. That number you're left with, that's your true financial position. Here's a good way to think about it. Your income, that's a flow of money. It's what keeps the lights on and gets you through the month. But your net worth, that's a snapshot of your wealth. It's what actually moves you forward. That's the only metric that really matters for our climb today. All right, you ready? Let's start climbing this ladder, beginning right at the very bottom rung.
So this first rung holds a full quarter of all American households.
And to be in this group, it means your total net worth is less than $23,000. And for a lot of people in this group, that number is actually negative, meaning they owe more than they own. I mean, life down here is lived on a razor's edge. There's no safety net. Any assets you might have are often completely wiped out by debt. It's an incredibly unstable position where just one bad day, one car repair, one medical bill can make the whole thing fall apart.
Okay, let's move up a rung. We're now in the lower middle class.
This group's net worth is anywhere from about $23,000 up to $179,000. Now, on paper, that looks like a huge jump, right? But there's a pretty big catch. See, for almost everybody at this level, their wealth isn't sitting in a bank account. It's totally illiquid. It's almost all tied up in their home's equity. So even though they own more on paper, they can still feel just as cash-strapped as the group below them. All right, now we have arrived right in the statistical middle of the entire country. This is the median, the exact midpoint. It's around $179,000. That means half of America has more than this, and the other half has less. So what does it actually feel like to be right in the middle? Well, it's a life of financial stability, but it's often a life with very little room for real growth. You know, when the cost of everything keeps rising faster than your paycheck, that stability can start to feel a lot more like just treading water. Okay, now things start to get really interesting. As we keep climbing, we reach the upper middle class, and this is where the entire financial game really begins to change. We're now talking about a net worth between roughly $179,000 all the way up to $610,000. Let me tell you, this is where you start to feel some real financial momentum. And what a difference it is. Look at this. Wealth is no longer just locked up in one single place. It's diversified. You've got stocks, real estate, retirement funds, maybe even a piece of a business. This is the point where your money finally starts working for you. And finally, we get to the top, the highest rungs of the ladder. So, what does it take to get into the top 10% of the wealthiest households in America? You need a net worth of at least $1.7 million. At this level, the game completely changes. Your wealth is now generating its own significant income. We're talking investments, dividends, rental properties, you name it. Your assets are literally building more assets. And that growth starts to compound, pushing you up the ladder even faster. But look, these numbers, they're just a snapshot in time. They don't tell the whole story. Because your trajectory, the direction you're headed, can be just as important, if not more so. So what does this all mean for you? It means your direction matters so much more than your current location. Think about it. A 25-year-old with a pretty low net worth is on a totally different path than a 55-year-old at that exact same level. This isn't about some static label. It's all about where you're going. So with that in mind, how do you actually climb this thing? Okay, here it is, the whole map laid out right in front of you. Take a second, find where you are right now, but please remember, this does not have to be your final destination. And this right here, this is the most empowering part of all. Your spot on this ladder is not fixed. Every single smart financial decision you make, every dollar you save, every investment you make counts. It's a step up. So you see, the real question isn't, where am I on this chart? The real question is, what